What's up, guys? Welcome back to day. What is today? Day 15. Nope, 16. Fucking hell. Tuesday, day 16 of the SCM Project. Here we go, hey? Listened to a really interesting podcast yesterday around. It was a Mike Thurston's podcast, First Things Thirst. A guy named Ollie Marchon was on there. Marchon gyms. He owns Marchon Gyms, and it was just a really insightful convo around obviously personal training and health and wellness. Ollie has a gym, but he's also got a supplement brand. He's got a clothing brand, and ultimately a lot of the stuff that we want to build here as SCM or JAG or whatever vehicle we sort of end up running with. But yeah, it's just really insightful. Got some really good insights into things to do, things not to do, the mindset behind obviously what they do. And yeah, just they're experienced in the industry, high level, have been in the industry for a long time. The conversations they have do look a bit different to the ones that we currently have. So it's good to be exposed to that realm and understand that there's another level to get to, which, I mean, ultimately a lot of people can look at those things and feel intimidated or feel less than, but for me, it really inspires me to sort of move in that direction. So it was very good. What time's it? 10:10. Plenty of fluids this morning. Been to the gym already, did a good pool session, cracking into work, and yeah, just want to pull up and shoot the video before things got out of hand. Actually had a really good win yesterday afternoon. Went for a walk / bit of a jog. First time I've run in many years. But basically I was sitting on the lounge, had my laptop out, but I was fighting some hunger cues, which was probably just boredom or procrastination, and I ended up, instead of giving in to them, went, fuck it, I'm going to go for a walk, and ended up on that walk running, as I said, for the first time in many years, and definitely unfit, lots of work to do there, but it was good to get out, and I felt great after it. And yeah, really good decision in the process, so really happy with that. Question for the day is, how do I handle failure? So I've had many failures in my life. I've restarted my lifting journey at least 5 times. I've been super inconsistent. Some there's a couple of times where I hurt myself. That was a catalyst for having to do that, but I ended up completely falling off the wagon, and it took me years to get back on it. I tried for sports teams, especially when I was young, and didn't make the cut. I lost, games as a leader. I always saw myself as a leader of a team, whether I was wearing the armband or not. I always tried to lead the team with my words and with my actions, and I lost many games in that respect. And obviously I've failed in business, both in my own business and as an employee as well. There's always lessons there where, you haven't done quite enough, or you knew that you could have given more and didn't. And, failure is just part of the human condition, in my opinion. It's part of the course. It's part of any journey. And I think, really just failure is, the way I look at failure is, it's not failure, it's growth. Like, yes, you do fail, but if you allow that failure to then dictate, well, I suppose throw you completely off course, and you don't take any further action, then you lose. Whereas if you take the lump, because it's inevitable, and take the lessons from it and learn and grow, then failure is just growth. It's just a different word for growth. So oftentimes I used to see failure as the end of the journey, and really, if you can adopt the mindset that it's just part of the journey, and that really it's just the lesson, but it's the harsh lesson, instead of paying for it or learning it through someone else, you've gone through it firsthand, and you've now got the scar for it. So rather than sit in hell or sit there with a scar, use that and just let that scar be a constant reminder to not make that decision or that mistake again. I think that's really important. So yeah, one thing I've put here, which I've heard recently, is Pixar, Marvel, all of these films, we love the heroes not because they're perfect beings and because they're the hero. We actually love the heroes because we get to see the struggle of the journey along the way. And that's where I suppose we start to identify with them, because we as humans, as I said, failure is just a human condition. It's just part of the course. We start to identify with those characters, with those beings, through their struggles. And then obviously you've got the hero arc where they come out on top in the end. Now, life isn't always that grand, but if you push the time horizon out further and further, eventually you do have that hero arc, because if you don't quit and you continue to grow and learn, you will eventually get to where you want to be. Eventually. Sometimes it's not in the time frame that you had hoped, but eventually you get to where ultimately you want to be. And I think that's super important for us to hold on to and remember, is that if you're losing in life, it just means that you haven't won yet. And I think that's a super important reframe, that every failure, every loss, every, kick in the teeth along the way, it's just another lesson. And if you quit, then they win. But if you continue, even if it's not under that time frame, you give yourself that chance, or eventually you'll have that hero arc and you'll be at the pinnacle. So I think that's a really good reframe and a good way or lens to look at certain situations where you feel like maybe it could be the end. Yeah. So that's the way I view failure. That's the way I handle failure, is just to see it as part of the journey, to try to take the lessons from it. And where I can, I pay for speed. I've had many mentorships along the way that have taught me the lessons that I was going to lead, or at least give me the tools so that when the lesson comes, when the failure comes, I know what to do in those moments. And just to never stop. I think you only lose if you quit. So if you don't quit, there's always that opportunity. Being successful is just around the corner. There's a reason that people see it as, there's an expression called the overnight success. I think part of it is because people only show on social media and in the world, right, that the good things in life. I'm super guilty of that too, but the good areas in life, so you don't see all the struggle on the way, and then boom, they're successful. But what you don't see are all the lumps along the way. And I think going through life not expecting hurdles or not expecting obstacles is fucking stupid. Prepare yourself for those moments as best you can. Reach out to other people for advice, especially people who have already walked that path for you, or with you, for themselves, so that you can get those lessons, or at least be given the tools, so when the lesson comes, you can deal with it. And just never quit. Never quit. If you're still breathing, still fight for something. I think it's very important as a human, but as a man especially, to just continue down that path. And eventually, as I say, if you extend that time horizon, you will get to where you want to be ultimately. So I hope this video serves you guys. I'm loving the SCM project to date. It's really, I'm really diving deeper into myself, and it's super helpful to become aware of who I am and my deficiencies, and then obviously put in place things to overcome those deficiencies along the way. So I hope this helps someone. Let me know your biggest takeaway in the comments, and until the next one, be good.